Hi guys, welcome back to the Home and Homestead. My name is Rebecca, and today you'll be joining me in the kitchen while we do a cook with me using the Instant Pot. We'll be making a lunch with our corned beef brisket and later dredging it with the spice blend that we'll prepare together where we make some homemade pastrami. That'll be great for lunch for pastrami sandwiches. So follow along while we make this Instant Pot pastrami. So today I will be using my 3-quart Instant Pot. This works out just perfect because I will be doing a 1-pound pastrami. You could also do a 3-pound pastrami, and I will provide the amounts of spices for both portions. The cook time for the corned beef brisket is the same regardless of whether you do 1 pound or 3 pound. Sometimes it is difficult to find a 1-pound corned beef brisket, so I had a 3-pound brisket, cut it into 1-pound portions, and I'll be using 1 pound today for this pastrami. So in the Instant Pot liner pot, I have the trivet. I will put 1 cup of water. So I've taken some liquid smoke, this is the hickory flavor, and I took about a tablespoon of it and spread the liquid smoke all over all sides of the corned beef brisket. So I'll place it into the Instant Pot on top of the trivet, that side up. And that'll help give our pastrami a nice smoky flavor. Now we'll plug in our Instant Pot. And we'll add our pressurized lid, turn it to the lock position, and turn the top valve to sealing. Now we're going to cook this on high pressure for 70 minutes. You press the pressure cook. You might have manual here as well. It says high and normal. We'll increase the cook time to 70 minutes or an hour and 10 minutes. And then once this cook time has elapsed, we'll do a 15-minute natural release and then a quick release after that. I have it on the keep warm setting, so then once the cook time is finished, we can see the 15-minute countdown right on the screen. So we'll let this Instant Pot cook our corned beef brisket for pastrami. Okay, so the corned beef brisket has finished cooking, and I have it on keep warm. That's why it says L in these numbers. So now we'll let this Instant Pot do a 15-minute natural release. Then once that is finished, we'll do a quick release of the rest of the pressure. Then we can move on to the next step of making this pastrami. Okay, so the cook time has elapsed, so I'm going to shut off the Instant Pot. And there's no steam remaining in here. I turned it to vent, there's no steam coming out, and the valve was flattened back, so we can turn and remove the lid from the Instant Pot. Now what I'm going to do is take this corned beef brisket and remove it from the Instant Pot, and I'll put it on a dish. So we have this in a dish, and I'm just going to let that corned beef brisket rest for about 10 minutes. Okay, so the corned beef has been resting for about 10 minutes. Now what we're going to do is add the spice blend that we prepared in order to give this corned beef brisket the flavors of pastrami. So in this little dish, I have combined for the 1-pound corned beef brisket that we prepared 2 teaspoons of ground coriander, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of brown sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground sage, and an 1/8 teaspoon of mustard powder. I just mixed that all together in this little dish here. So now what you're going to do is cover all surfaces of this corned beef. We're going to leave the fat on that did not render off. That'll help give some nice flavor. Now what we're going to do is place our corned beef brisket that we dredged with all those spices that we put together to make this blend into a foil. And we'll wrap it nicely here. And we'll put this in a dish and place this in the refrigerator for at least 12 hours and up to 2 days. So I'll put this in the refrigerator, then we'll come back for the next step. All right, so the corned beef with the pastrami spice blend rub that we applied to it has been sitting in the refrigerator overnight. And I took it out and let it sit at room temperature for about 1 hour. Now we're going to get this prepared for the oven. We're going to bake it on a low temperature for 1 hour, and that'll really help incorporate these spice flavors into this corned beef brisket to get that pastrami flavor that we're looking for. So I'll just take this out of the dish. We'll unwrap it. So when we cooked this in the Instant Pot, we had the fat side up. When we bake this in the oven, we're going to have the fat side down. So we'll leave this in the foil because we're going to place this in the oven directly on a rack. So we have the sides folded up to catch any drippings and things like that. And then I'll place a baking pan on the rack underneath this to catch any drippings that maybe go outside of the foil. So now I have the oven preheated to 275 degrees. I'll put this directly on a rack with the pan below like I just spoke about, and we'll bake this for 1 hour. Okay guys, the pastrami is finished baking at 275 degrees for 1 hour. To remove it, I just slid the little foil basket we made onto the pan I had the rack below to carry it over. So what we're going to do is we'll put the pastrami on a cutting board and we'll let this rest for about 10 minutes and then we'll slice it up. Alright, so the pastrami has been resting for about 10 minutes. Now we're going to slice it. So I'm going to slice it against the grain, and I'm going to do about 1/4 inch thick slices. There's a nice crusty outside on it, and I'm just being extra gentle with it so I can leave some of that bark on the meat here. There we go. Now let's get this into a dish. Alright guys, here's our homemade pastrami all finished. I just had a little taste and this is so juicy and tender with the thick outer crust on there. This will make some incredible pastrami sandwiches. Here, I'll give you a closer look here. Here you can really see the nice thick outer crust that we created with that spice blend rub. And the flavor is amazing. So now we've made a lunch meal with our corned beef brisket. So you can check out other videos I have where I did breakfast. Today we did lunch, and then I will also do a dinner recipe. All using the same 3-pound corned beef brisket. So not only is it a versatile meat to purchase and make recipes out of, but it's also economical because you made 3 distinctive meals out of 1 meat purchase. And another money-saving tip you might want to consider is wait till around or after St. Patrick's Day. The corned beef briskets are typically on sale, and that's when I purchase them. And I'll pick up 2 or 3 of them, throw them in the freezer, and then the following year, that'll be the corned beef brisket that I make for St. Patrick's Day, and whenever we're in the mood for some sort of corned beef meal or appetizer. So you can check out really tasty appetizer I made with some corned beef leftovers, which is the Reuben egg rolls. And I just simply used some leftover corned beef from my corned beef and cabbage. You can check out that video for how I make a really easy and tasty corned beef and cabbage meal using the Instant Pot. Well, I hope you enjoyed our time together in the kitchen while we made this homemade pastrami. This will make a wonderful lunch and some really flavorful sandwiches. If you're new to the channel, I would appreciate you subscribing. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. See you next time. Take care.